I spent 10 years in prison. I've been out a few years, and I had my first and only child while I was locked up, and it sucked. Big, huge. Some people are like, oh, did you find out you were pregnant when you got incarcerated? Or like, how did that all play out? Let me just make this very clear so everybody can know, so you'll always know what the facts are about being pregnant while you're in jail, okay? The county jail is where you go before you go to prison. When you go to the county jail, if you are a female who is younger than 80, if you look like you're in the age range where you could give birth, you're getting a pregnancy test straight out the gate. You are not going through intake in the county jail without getting a pregnancy test, and that is for several reasons, but all of them are liability related. You have to have a certain diet if you are pregnant, so they have to feed you more food. You have to be getting your snacks in the morning and at night, or they can get in a lot of trouble. If you are pregnant, you have to be on a bottom bunk, because if you're on the top bunk and you roll off and something happens, they are liable. If you are pregnant, your room cannot be on the second tier, which is the second floor, and you shouldn't be going up and down stairs. There are several things and protocols and procedures in place for pregnant women, like they are not to be shackled on their feet unless they're being wheelchaired, but they are to be handcuffed, and only handcuffed loosely in the front. They don't want them tripping and falling over shackles, and then they hurt themselves, and now you have a lawsuit. There are several things in place to prevent any of these things from happening, because when you're in the county jail, you're still going through the court system, which means you're still not found guilty, which means you still have all your civil rights. And the last thing you want is to have one of those violated and not be cared after while you're in their custody. And you have a big lawsuit now against the jail and the city that you're going to win. So there's no way you're going through intake without getting a pregnancy test if you look like you could give birth. I found out I was pregnant on a Tuesday. I went to jail on that same Friday of that week. When I went to jail, I never came out, and I had my son while I was in the county jail. I have an entire story about it on my page if you guys want to hear about it. So no, luckily I did not find out while I was in intake. What'll never happen is you'll never get sent up to population and be there for a few days, a few weeks, a few months, and then all of a sudden, boom, hey, I think something's wrong, and then they give you a pregnancy test and you're pregnant. Like, that does not happen. I can't say that it's impossible, but it's pretty impossible. Now, you can find out while you're downstairs in intake, and, you know, that's a crazy situation. But it was crazy for me finding out Tuesday and going to jail on Friday. Like, damn, I had 2 days to enjoy this idea or figure my life out. But nonetheless, I'm going to tell you guys what it was like to actually be pregnant in the county jail. I'm going to tell you guys what it was like to be pregnant while you're in jail, because I don't think anyone really has given a true, accurate depiction of what goes down. Definitely not the TV. And I've seen some other creators talk about it, and I don't know what jail they were at, but let me tell y'all what really goes down when you're pregnant in the county jail or even in prison, because this is the truth. I spent 10 years in prison. I've been out a few years, and the entire time I was pregnant, I was incarcerated in the county jail. Number one, you get more food. You might get the same tray, or you might get a pregnancy tray, but if you get the same tray, then you get 2 snacks a day. If you get a bigger tray, then you just get more food. Either way it goes, the institution is going to provide you with more food, because they don't want to be liable for anything going on, any low birth weight or any sickness or, illness happening because they didn't feed you what they needed to feed you. You're going to get more food, so even if the food sucks, it's still a plus, because you're hungry when you're pregnant and you get more of it. Number 2, you will get a bottom bunk. Having a bottom bunk is like golden in jail or prison. You don't have to climb over somebody in the middle of the night. If you have to pee, you don't have to worry about climbing down and stepping on their head or their bed or shaking the bed or anything like that. Like, it's just very nice to be able to just roll on over, put your feet on the ground, and get up and go about your business without having to crawl up and down on bunk beds. Like, who the hell wants to crawl up and down on bunk beds in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s and up? You know what I mean? Like, sucks. So you get a bottom bunk the entire time you're pregnant, and it's awesome. Number 3, you get double mattress and sometimes double pillow passes. So the mattresses, they're like pool floats. They're like this thick. It's a pool float with a piece of foam in the middle of it, and it sucks really, really bad. And unless you're a certain weight, you can't get double mattress. So it's really hard, but when you're pregnant, you will get a double mattress pass. And so you'll be able to put 2 mattresses together and at least have some semblance of cushion, and you'll have that the entire time. Sometimes you get a double pillow pass, and that really is good too because you can use it for your back, your legs, or whatever. Next, you will get a no prolonged standing and no prolonged sun exposure pass if you are in a place or an institution where there's a lot of walking or a lot of sun, which means that if you have to go somewhere, you have to do something, you have to be outside, you're exposed to the elements, or it's a far distance, you will get things delivered to you and you will not be outside sweating like a dog for extended periods of time. And that really is a good thing when you're in Florida, okay? Woo, Lord have mercy. Moving right along to how the inmates and how the staff members treat you, because that's a big one, right? You don't want to have to be scared for your life. You don't want to have to feel like you're going to be threatened or bullied while you're pregnant and trying to protect your unborn child. So that's like big thing that I've seen people say, and it's 100% not the truth. You will never find somebody that says this that is actually factual. If anybody's ever told you that you have to fight for your life because they will target pregnant women because they know that they are more vulnerable at that moment, it's a lie. Let me tell you how the inmates and the staff members really act, particularly the inmates. You guys have to remember, all of these women are women first and foremost. At least 75 to 80% of them are mothers, grandmothers, aunties, sisters, somebody who has some person that they've cared for. So when they see a pregnant person, all they see is somebody that they need to protect and care for. I've never seen a group of unlikely, unsuspecting women band together more strongly than when it is to help a pregnant inmate who is either needing attention, like medical attention or help, needing food because they're hungry, or needing some sort of assistance with like bathing or washing their clothes or making their bed or something like that. These women will band together and get shit done. For this pregnant woman, they see her as somebody that needs to be helped. They're not targeting you. They're not targeting anybody because they're pregnant and they're more vulnerable or weaker. It does not happen, okay? That does not happen. Firsthand, I was literally pregnant the entire 9 months because, it's usually 10 months that you're pregnant, 40 weeks. I went in about a month pregnant, so I lived it. These women, they have your back. They're going to take care of you. They will make your bed. They will cook you food. They will watch out for you. If somebody tries you, they'll be like, leave her alone. She's pregnant. What is wrong with you? She's pregnant. And then you get that one random one that's like, oh, well, her face ain't pregnant. But baby, if you try to jump on a pregnant girl, you're going to have about 6 mama bears come out the woodworks and tear your ass up. They're about to mop the floor with you, and I'm not even playing. The inmates treat you really well. They will make sure you have food. They will make sure you're comforted. Man, you'll even see some of them like rubbing each other's feet, rubbing each other's back, trying to, massage the bit, like all types of stuff. They're just really, really kind to each other, and their motherly instincts really come out. The officers, okay, I'm gonna keep it a whole beam with y'all. The officers, they don't care as much, okay? They don't care as much. They do what they need to do. Most of them will not go out of their way to F with you like they would maybe if you weren't pregnant. So if they're an a-hole, they're probably not going to go out of their way to be an a-hole to you. But and then the nice ones are nicer, but no, they're not like doing the most like the inmates, okay? It'll get you some passes. It'll, get you out of some trouble, but they're not doing what the prisoners are doing or what the inmates in the jail are doing. Like, they're not going above and beyond. You're not going to catch one rubbing your feet in there, okay? They're still fairly nice. So when it comes to inmates and staff, like particularly the inmates, they really treat you like a freaking princess. They give you priority in the shower. They give you priority in the lines. They give you priority in the phone. Anything that you can get priority or help with, they are there to do it. That's how pregnant inmates in jail, in the county jail, and in prison. In prison, it's a little more tough because they're in a dorm by themselves and they're isolated. But in the county jail where you're all mingled together, they get the royal treatment. And that's the truth, okay? So I just wanted to let y'all know what the deal really was. Some people exaggerate. I mean, a lot of people do it in a lot of niches, but that is the actual A1 straight bean truth. Okay? I love you guys. I will see you on the next one. Let me know if you guys want to know something, and I will run it down later.